This recipe that we're making here is called Mshaat, which is a cauliflower fritter which has got garlic, chili, spring onion and parsley in the main fritter. And then we're serving it with a tomato Dagga salsa, which is famous in Gaza. So it's also spicy, tangy, very fresh in comparison to the sort of creamier texture of the fritter. So in here, I've just boiled for a few minutes the cauliflower with some turmeric to add some color and flavor. I'm going to now just sieve this and let them cool down for a little bit. I'm going to put them actually on a plate so they can drain, because we don't want that much water in the fritter when we fry them. And then we're going to squash them with our hands just so they can fit into the egg mixture. So look how lovely they've gone, the color. And this is really just a teaspoon of turmeric and some salt and some boiling water. Don't overboil them because you don't want them to go too mushy. You want them to stay firm. So while these are cooling down, I'm just going to put them on the side. I'm going to make the mixture that is going to go in with the fritter. So you've got a bowl. I'm going to add the eggs. So you've got the eggs in here. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. I'm just going to mix this to just combine. This will create like a paste, which will work really nicely to hold everything together. You want to try and get as much of the lumps out as possible. And I'm just going to set this aside. I'm just going to cut some chili, spring onion and parsley to add into that mix. You can cut these really roughly because once they go in together, it's just going to be a beautiful amber coloured fritter with loads of green and red flecks in it, covered in the salsa. Put this into the egg mixture. I'm going to leave half of the chili for the salsa and then half. I keep the seeds in as well. You can do whatever you like. It's just my preference. We love spicy food in my family, so it's always something on the table. Right, so that's going to go in with the spring onions and now plenty of parsley. I just like to roll this around. This is already washed and dried parsley. Again, these are really just sort of very rustic family recipes, so you don't need to make them perfect. I think the nice part of them is that they don't look like you've spent too long making them. My mom used to whip these up when we were really hungry before dinner, and there were so many of us. We were 5 kids, so you can imagine what was going on in the background. So I'm going to put the whole bunch here. And I'm going to add just a teaspoon of salt, well, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to whisk this all together. You want it to be this consistency. It's got to be thick because it's got to hold its shape. Sometimes I like to use a ring and I just put the ring in the pan, a little bit of oil, and then cook this over and flip it. I'm actually going to start with the salsa just because I don't want to have these ready and then this isn't ready. Again, you don't need to clean your board because it's all really the same kind of ingredients. This is just very roughly chopped tomato. Usually I'd use a pestle and mortar, but I don't have one today. But this is just another way of making it. Gaza is very famous for having really spicy salsas, lots of fresh herbs like dill, just because it's on the coastal part of Palestine and you have lots of trade routes that used to come through there, which is why they have slightly different, more Mediterranean cuisine than the rest of Palestine. The sauce is going to take just literally a few minutes to make. So once you've got the tomatoes, you just need to chop some dill, chili, garlic, olive oil, which I'm going to do right now. So So we've got a lovely bunch of dill. This is so fresh and very different to lots of other recipes that use dill. Sometimes maybe tend to be a bit old-fashioned, but this is absolutely delicious. I put that in here. And then I've got just a couple of garlic cloves. And then the chili. Lastly, right. I'm going to add some lemon juice to this. And plenty of olive oil and salt. So this is creating the base of your dagga. And then I'm going to put some olive oil in here. And some salt. And then just mix this around. You can use this on fish, on chicken. I use it on everything. I just love it. I add some more chili if I want. So you can really do more or less of what you like. But it should be plenty of dill in here. This is what it's really made of, and tomatoes. So the baking powder, a nice heaped teaspoon. This will help fluff the fritter up. And then just mix it. Right. Now I'm just going to add some sunflower oil to a pan. Don't be scared. You want to be a bit generous with it because you don't want anything to stick. So my mum, she likes to flatten the cauliflower like this, just so it sort of sticks in its place. Puts it in and then takes a dollop of the pancake mixture, and then flatten another piece in your hand. It's splashing a little bit because it's got water in it. And then take another bit of the egg mixture, pour it over the top. You want these to go slightly charred on the base, so don't worry. Give them a few minutes on each side to just sort of combine together. And also, the nice thing about this, they don't have to look the same. This is very natural, free-flowing cooking. You can see these are looking great. My mum likes to put them in little mini pita sandwiches and stuff them with the salsa. It's really up to anyone. I'm just going to do a couple more. And just continue making them until you've finished all your mixture. Put them on a plate. And this is a breakfast dish, so definitely something good to wake up to in the morning. Most of our food isn't sweet in the morning. It's sort of za'atar breads, cheeses, ajje, which is this version without cauliflower, and a different tomato dip. And then you have this version as well. Can you see that? It's nice and fluffy. And then you get the cauliflower in the center. And then just a bit more of the drizzle of the dagga. And that's it.